This is from the beginning.
Unbelievable.
How the building started.
59 years ago. Actually, it started in 41. I'll tell you a piece of it that you don't even know. When I was,
Right? I'm gonna sit
when I
over
was,
here in front of you.
when I was, we all lived in Bensonhurst. Everybody lives over there. So we used to go to bed, sit down, small shul. So they were related, I don't know. So what happened, one day, I was 13, bar mitzvah, my brother Charlie at 15, and Avery Fat Sutton, you know, he passed away. You know, what's his name? Sammy Sutton.
Short Sammy?
No, the tall one.
Tall.
And his grandfather was on the committee, you know, in the shul. Came up to me, said, "Listen, we made a minyan in the Purian manner. Purian manner, you know, that's on East 8th Street, the catering place. So we have a room. We don't have anybody to read Sefer. My brother Charlie reads, and we need Cohen. We don't have enough people for minyan. So we want you and Avery Fat." He lived on 75th Street, Bay Parkway. Shabbat, you come over, and you finish the minyan. We got there. We walk, you know, the walk from down Kings Highway, and Leon Sutton, you know, Leo Sutton from Ateret. His son is the principal there. Leo, so he was another brother, so two brothers and two brothers. We used to walk on Saturday morning all the way to East 8th Street, I have to tell you. And what's his name? Avery Fat, you know, he was the reason they called him Avery Fat. He had credit candy stores all the way up. I had back. And I think so, because you get credit to that. That's how it started. And then in 1946 or 45, I have the date, they bought that house where, you know, where the Egyptians are, on Ocean Parkway. There's a white building. There was a gas station over there. We were next door. It was a big house, 50-footer. And that just started the minyan. And then in 56, 55, 56, I moved to that neighborhood around there. Then they make so I walk into the shul. I've been there. I was never there when it was a house. So I walk in. Watch this. Retailers only can do this. I walk in. Places. There's about 70 seats, theater seat type seats, broken down in the house. They pray there every morning, noon, and night. That's the shul. I walk there. Take a look. Oh. So they came, you gotta buy a lifetime seat. Yeah, okay. So $500, which was a lot those days. All right, we bought this. We bought the place. Who was that? What's his name? Oh, you were taping this?
Yeah, we're taping everything. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Anyhow, so we went. We took it, so I gave him $500. I came Shabbat. I look, packed. I see one seat. So I go over there to look at it. A tile from the roof, from the ceiling, it's a house, fell down. So it's on the floor, so I can't sit on it. I found something else. Okay. I have to tell you, that was the beginning of everything. I came. The next Shabbat, I don't go every day. So come back in next Shabbat, I walk in, the seat, the thing is still on the floor. I says, nobody home here. These people come 3 times a day, they're praying over here, 50, 60, nobody here to pick it up. Pick it up, at least we'll get another seat. So then I sit there, I went there for a few weeks, and I walked over to the chairman of the building committee, no mention at this point, and they said, you know, they came to me, asked me for a lifetime seat. I gave them $500. Could you tell me some of the progress on what they're doing with the construction? I said, yeah, I don't really know. You shipped me to somebody else. Okay. Went to the other guy. Said, no, we're having a problem. The building started in '53. And a very good contractor, but he was building a hospital out in Long Island, and he failed. So we had to deal with him. They had to deal with him, where the guy would get a build, he makes 20%, 15%, and so on and so forth. But the one problem, every time we gave him money, he would pay the other bills. The building stopped about 1.5 years later, stopped cold, and we picked up 11 liens and 11 lawsuits. So I went to the people, I said, listen, you have to tell us, I don't know, maybe we'll work something out. Could you let me see the way? Nah. Thank God my business was good at the time, and I got the back of the hand. So one Shabbat between Minha and Advid, I got up, said, gentlemen, I have a question. I can't get an answer. What's happening with the building? Are we building or we're not building? You're not allowed to talk. Standard, you're not allowed to talk. Okay. Yeah. I Shalom got up and says, let them talk. All keep quiet. So, okay, let them talk. Okay. What is it? I said, listen, we're asking all these questions. And I put up some of the questions that I said. When we start, what's the problem, and so on and so forth. One guy spoke from here, one guy spoke from there. It was obvious. They walked away from it. And at that time, they had bought the land here and started it here. They never got out of the basement. There was nothing here. So, could get no answers. And finally, not a month went by, they had elections. I got elected by 1 vote. All the guys had it. I mean, I was never active before. Abe Cohen at that time was the chairman. He came to my house. We have to work together. David, I said, we're asking what's going on. Nobody, you know, but we're not going to go. Yeah, so he started to give me, forget about it. 11 lawsuits. Nobody wants to pay. People who made, this has to be remembered. Nobody could. So it was just about time of Rosh Hashanah, that time when I was talking on the committee. So I go, okay, let's go. So we take the ballroom in the other place. for the rest of the people. It's all right, okay. So we sold seats, which they used to do every year. We started a minyan, and how many people you think were there? First day of Rosh Hashanah. How about 700? Okay. 3 floors. We took this room, we put this room, we got this Hazan, 700 people. And the biggest discussion was about the ladies' dresses, business. They used to pray. The place was very noisy. So we have it there, have 10 guys, at least 10 people to read a man. I mean, it was, forget it. Bedlam. Nice people, everybody nice. All the people, Hazata, they paid money. You know, during the war, they accumulated all this money to buy this land and so on and so forth. And it was ridiculous. When I saw that, I said, oh my God, this is, it's like 100 guys, nothing. And people just, you know, they're busy with their business. It's not my business, it's somebody else's business. And so on. So now we took over. And of course, the first thing we had to do, we had to get rid of the lawsuits. Nobody gonna work. And Rav Shammah became president. Mickey Shammah's father. And so we, you know, he had a lot of the older guys. So he came over and said this and that. He convinced him and a few guys, calling a bluff of Eli Haddad. Said, I'll build tomorrow and I know how to do everything. I can do it. What are you kidding? These people, they don't know what they're doing. So he said, okay, make a fundraiser in your house. Make a fundraiser in his house. He lived in the house on Cohen where Jackie lived. He lived in that house. So he said, okay. So they had a big company at the time. They had 4 brothers, you know, and they were building, they were buying in property. That's their business too. So, hey man, they collected $63,000 from all the millionaires that we had at the time. Okay, the Haddids gave us 13,000 of the 63. So they gave me the list. Haddad says, you come to my office, me and you signed the checks. I take you to the bank. He took me to the Empire State Building Irving Trust. We opened the bank account. The other bank accounts had liens against them. So we couldn't put it. We had a bank account, we can't put it there. We opened an account, the 2 of us, and he says, okay, collect the rest. You got my 13, correct the rest. I don't have to tell you. We went around, we collected. Why we collected 0? Very good. These people, a lot of the old people, they had contributed, like the Hedayahs, and they contributed. Hedayah bought a house next door, a smaller house. He gave it to Hidaries, Mamier, all those people. They gave their money, and now their money was like gone because they bought this land, and the feeling was it's never going to get built. Let's sell it. And we'll bet a small little shul and over there we are, we'll knock down the 2 houses. And I have to be honest with you, I look at that plan and I said, no, we gotta build this building. You know, it's so beautiful. You know, the plans, you look at it, we had a model. And in fact, I have an article from a newspaper, I'll give it to you. They took a picture of it. And So subsequently, seeing all this, seeing 700 people that never came to shul. If you had a bar mitzvah, there's 70 seats and there's 7 seats for ladies. That's it. Guy gets bar mitzvah, that's that in all the shul. The other shul, they used to have the center. There used to be still people there. And Magen David had fallen down, and there was no synagogue, SY synagogue, from Brighton Beach to Church Avenue. None. 0. The Club 100, and we had 2 clubs. We had one on Avenue I and one on Avenue K. The one on Avenue K was the older guys, and once in a while they have a minyan on a Shabbat quickly. And a funny byproduct, I'll tell you. One Friday afternoon, the minyan out of it, they played in the basement in the club. Thieves came in with guns. Give me the money. Nobody got no money. What do you mean no money? You got no money. They gave them their watches, this and that. That was the end of that minyan. And that was the picture. That was the picture. And this house that was our shul was busy like a bee. You know, this guy comes in, guy prays this guy, or 2 minyans, 3 minyans, little house. Nobody talks about what the big thing is. So subsequently, we decided, now that we have the 13,000 in the bank, we're going to try to negotiate with each guy to come back to work. The first guy we hit was a plumber. Plumber, his contract was 40,000. So we made a meeting in the club with the contractor. We brought Eli Haddad and Ralph Shaare, myself and Abe Cohen. Okay, so what's the story? So the guy says, listen, my job, my contract was $40,000. Imagine all the plumbing for $40,000. My job was $40,000. And they only gave me $5,000, and I did $20,000 worth of work. So I went crazy. What do you mean? He said, a couple of pipes in the basement. So he says, I gotta have $20,000 and I'll go back to the job. Of course, we forgot to tell Haddad that nobody gave money. We only had 13,000. So he sat there, he said, okay. I said, listen. And I told in Arabic to Eli Haddad, he didn't do 20,000 worth of work. You know that, and I know that. Maybe he did 5,000 work, maybe. He did 5,000 work. He says to me in Arabic, Jadbe, the contract is 4 years old. Today you can't get that contract for $40,000. And he got up, he kissed the contractor. He says, we got to do business with it. They agreed, we're going to give him 10,000. I can't tell Haddad that we don't have the rest of the money. I said to the guy, listen, this is the guy, we'll give you the 10,000 on this condition. How many trucks you have? He says, why? How many trucks? He says, I got 6 trucks. 6 trucks. They must be parked every night on the lot where the job is to show activity. And we made a big sign, you know, that the reopening, the construction has started, you know, to try to generate interest. And we said, now, so He says, when I get the money, I'll start. So I said, oh, okay. Oh, by the way, so we have some money clearing, so I'll give you a check for 5. In a couple of weeks, I'll give you the other 5. Okay. We got him to work. The next thing we did is we brought the electrician. The electrician, very similar story. And so, $35,000. All the electric in the building for $35,000. Including the air conditioning, you know. Fine, okay. And the same sketch. Okay, we gave him 5. We're going to give him in 2 more weeks, give him more money. And then, at that time, we were the general contractors because who's going to take the job? Nobody. It only owns money. So, this continued for a couple of weeks. We decided to get I said, we've got to have an engineer here or the job all day, all the time. I don't know, to put the pipe, maybe he's in the wrong place. We had a very good guy, $700 a week. He takes care of it. He's very organized. He put the pipe, you know everything, you know what to do, what the guy's doing it, watching him, and so on and so forth. Of course, at the end of the week, we got to give him $700. So I make him a check for $700, and then we don't have. He wants to get cash. We'll be broke. This is a check for it. It says sign the back of it. He signs the back of it. I cash it in the store, and I hold the check. We did that regularly between me and Abe Cohen. The guy wants to get paid, so he told me, "Yeah, we'll cash the check for you. How much is it?" Yeah, okay, here. Okay, here's the money. Endorse the check, so we can put it in a, so that keep the money. We can't. The next guy we started with was the brick guy. It wasn't a big job, bricks, because there's not that much. And we wanted to get him working. Similar stories, you know, we had similar stories, no money, 0, bank account, 0, promises, forget about it. We were finally, what happened, they had a bad system. We noticed a bad system in the air conditioning. They only put 1 air conditioner for the 2 rooms. So I said, God, that's no good. He says, no, if you have a wedding, everybody's in the other room, and then we have a switch, goes to this room. There's only one problem. We have the high holidays. We got to use the place. So we got to use the place. So we can't do that. Meantime, you know, we pick up 1,000 here, 500 here. So, so we devised that all in the first year, by the way.
Rolly, close the door.
All in the first year. So, what happened? We decided we want to get. We got to get more workers. You're never going to finish over here, and we're running out. Always running out of money. We devised the idea of selling lifetime seats. We never sold lifetime seats in the community ever. So we set up. I have the plans. Maybe I haven't. We set up, you know, the first row, 2 rows, 2,000, and his wife gets C2, 2 seats, and so on and so forth. We then okay. So we go to the guy. We're going to sell And then, of course, I don't have to tell you, we have the jokers who sit in the back and say, don't buy any, they have to give us the seats for free. We had a general meeting, and finally, I went to Hakamat Lub. I told them the trouble we're having, with the seating. Because no, we never did it. It's no haram, no, maybe you can't do it. I went to him. He says, you can do it on condition, and this is typical Hakamat Lub. You can do it on the condition that half the seats must be available to the public. I said, no problem, because half the seats are ladies. So that means nobody who walks in and just sits down, and that's it. And nobody can tell him nothing because the seat is open. So I said, no, but that's no problem. To find anybody who lost his money in business in the past 10 years and quietly give him a seat for nothing. And it's got to be anonymous. I thought that was a brilliant. He said, okay. So he endorsed it, and we went to sell seats. So myself, Ralph, Shama, Bert Dweck, and Mark Bennon, and Abe Cohen. We charge into a guy's office in the middle of the day. We show him the plan. Very nice, the seats, very nice. Okay. And anybody who gave money before, that one person will get credit, take any seat that he wants. 10,000, we're going to use it. This and that, come to me, go to the bank, give him 40,000. We had to go to court, by the way, because against the law to sell a corporate building, synagogue, public building without the members having, we had a meeting, this and that, we agreed. And of course, I don't have to tell you that after the Rosh Hashanah they had there, we had Rosh Hashanah here. We had the bricks. Abe Cohen got up a window trimming. We put up drapes just on top of the bricks. The floor was like that. You can only get in, but we had the bathrooms. So we opened up before Rosh Hashanah. This whole thing is going on in 1 year's time. So you got to go over to Rosh Hashanah. So we figured, you know what, we're going to move after Rosh Hashanah. Let's get the stuff out. So we took the Sephardic and we brought them here. We made a room, locked it. The guys, meantime, putting up ductwork, now they sing, we're rising. We don't, but the front was never done. The concrete was never done. He didn't finish the bottom, I don't know. And this is the best one. So all of a sudden, so we opened over here. We didn't tell nobody because we kept the other one open until after the court. So we didn't tell anybody. How many people do you think came? A note did not go out. We didn't announce it. We just took a sign, services into Shabbat, and over there there's services. How many people do you think they came the first Saturday? 400. 400 people. Nobody announced it. So it was obvious the need was unbelievable, the need. The people won't move out. So what are you going to do? Don't move out? No, we have a petition that this. I said, we went to the court and you approved it. It was approved by the court. You have to get out. No, we're not getting out. We live on that side, it's far away. We will keep a minyan there, I don't care, we're not moving. Most of the Sephardim and their stuff here, because we have most of the people here. So what are we going to do? So I called up the guy, says, what are you going to do? And we need that money because pay the bank, we have interest. And by the way, the 63,000 never got paid. It got paid in the end, but we never saw it, you know, in the whole time. He thought they were 63, we didn't have it. And of course I can't. So we told him, okay, you don't want to move out? He said, no, I ain't gonna move out. In the end, it's 2 or 3 guys. Yeah, go, I go move out. Okay. I called the contractor. He says, okay, now it's finished, because it was supposed to be after Kippur to give it. He said, go, it's finished. So I says, okay, send me 3 guys with sledgehammers. He says, what? And we'll start wrecking. He says, yeah, really? Okay. And I'll tell them to come 11 o'clock in the morning, because everybody goes out of the show. So on Sunday, we got a guy with a station wagon. We took every piece of paper that existed in the boxes, and we take them out of here. Nobody even realized. Three guys, and okay. So I says, see the building? Yeah. Break every window, destroy every towel, every toilet into place. And I put up a sign, Manhattan 2030 Ocean Parkway. You couldn't get out. No windows, no doors, no bathroom. And of course, there's a lot of stories inside. For one particular story, we kept operating, no money. So we got a caterer. Caterer came. He was a bit of a phony, but he was good enough for us. He advertised in the New York Post, the picture to come to you. Oh, that was about a year and a half later, because we didn't build the front. So we started to build the front, and that's, of course, another fairy tale. Unbelievable, because we were now in the building, so it became more difficult. You had people watching, what, they didn't do this, they didn't do that, they can't do this is no good, and no money. He don't like it. So how are we going to finish the building? I didn't tell you that the air conditioning guy, at that point, $100,000, right? We paid him a total of $18,000. And the air conditioning is operating. So we started to build the other room. We poured the balcony. The guy came, poured the balcony, finished the balcony, just cement, the form, and guy comes from the building department. So what? Gotta put lolly columns to hold it up, the balcony. I said, what the hell? Hey, building department, you approved it. Where were you 2 weeks ago before we poured it? Well, we have other jobs. They put a stop work order on the whole building. Can't do it. Can't build it. I don't want to tell you, some of the most important people, I won't give you their names, said, okay, put up the columns. No way. I said, what do you mean, no way? The building department sends us a letter. This is what they want. Imagine that thing with columns up. So I don't know why. So I learned one thing about the business. Always do business with big people. they got money they can pay. Okay. I saw in the thing in the newspaper, Cape Canaveral just opened up. I took the name of the company that does the architecture and the immaculate. I called them up. Tell me, hey, this is the problem, this and that. Okay, sure, we had a meeting. You brought 6 guys here, this and that. So he said, the building department, they spoke to the building department. He says, we don't think it's necessary, but you have to test it, okay? Have to test it. What do we have to do? He says, well, listen, we're going to lay you out a plan. They made us sign a contract. Sign a contract. Don't do that. The plan is, they want us to put up sandbags. It's, by the way, open to the street. There's no roof, nothing. Can't put the roof until they finish the balcony. They want sandbags, 250,000 pounds. Okay? And they want to be laid out the way they have it, spread like this here. And they sent out 2 engineers every day for a week or more with needles to see. I said, what's it? He says, look, with all that weight and steel in the concrete, it's going to go down. If it don't go down, you're in trouble. And then when we take it off, it'll spring back up a little bit at a time. And if there's a crack in it, no good. Okay. And I get engineers, they're here. I hired 12 laborers. And I had a staircase from outside. You go, it's like they're building the pyramids, you know, they're carrying sandbags. Oh, so I figured sandbags, how we're gonna go buy sand, put them in the bag. There was a concrete, where the Belt Parkway is. There used to be a guy there. He's a cement guy. So I always used to see they have a truck with a bed, and they have, in Canarsie, they have the place where they make the. So I told the guy, listen, we'll rent him from you $1 a piece. If it breaks, we'll pay you the $1. So okay, they shipped them all here, and I had these guys taking them up, laying them out the way the engineers wanted, the needles and this and that. At the last minute, I says, you know, it's around Sukkot time. He said, it may rain. It always rains around Sukkot. So we got plastic. I put plastic over all the cement bags. And you should know it. What do you think happened? 7 days of rain. And the rain, if it hits the bag, it turns to a rock. So some of them were spoiled, some wasn't. Well, now the building department comes. Yeah, he said, the bags are still up there. I said, okay, now what? Now, you see all those bags? We want to put them all in the front, in the middle. What are you talking about? Why? He says, because if a woman faints in the front, everybody's going to rush. That's how these things go. Got to do it. So we move all the things there. At the same time, we'll see if there's going to go up on the sides. Thank God it went up. No cracks. Put the things there for a week. In the middle, we took them away. Perfect. And every Kippur, like clockwork, somebody has to walk over to me and say, Mr. Cohen, you think it's safe up there? I says, we have no problem because it's probably we can get 3 times as many people up there than we need to. You ever look up there with the mobs? So they said, okay. They gave us approval. No polls. No polls. And then they continued working. And just to give you the concrete guy, he got paid, but you know, same old way. One very comical situation said, now we got the air conditioning working in the front, got it working here, place looks decent. We hired a caterer, he's coming in to fix it, what he needs it, and so on and so forth. I get a telephone call from the air conditioning company. Mr. Cohen, the president of the company wants to talk to me. You hear, what is it? He says, listen, you and your friend down there, I don't know you, but I want you to see my office on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. Both of you. Okay. So we went there. Beautiful office, fish tanks, unbelievable, gorgeous office. You walk in, a gray-haired guy sitting behind a big desk, and you walk in, and Goy-looking, sorry if his name is Sharp. Okay, so you walk in. He says, it's very comical. He says, listen, you stole me for 2 years. Because 2 years, so you owe me $60,000, $62,000. I remember the number. How are you going to pay me? I said, listen, no problem. No. What do you mean? Well, you see, we have the ark where we put the Torahs. We have a guy, $50,000. He's going to pay for it. Nobody. $50,000. And we have a guy. We have the doors. We're going to get like $25,000 for all the doors. Just wait. Hold it. Listen here. How old are you? I said 31. So he says to me, when I was your age, I built a synagogue in Grand Concourse. You're Jewish? I didn't know that. You're Jewish? Yeah. And I've heard how you use the same BS. So I look at him, I said, what? So you know how it is. Don't worry. You know, I said, we're going to pay you. So he says, what? Okay. We're going to give you 31 checks for $2,000 apiece, and operating it, $2,000 a month. That means 2 more years. He says, how much interest? From a shul? Okay, no acting. Calls the girl, get those notes. I want them signed today. So we signed the notes. First 6 bounced. And we paid the guy. They were really fine, turned out to be fine gentlemen. And they're fabulous air conditioning. It was never a problem. We opened up in the other room, I think it was 1960. We opened we always had this one now. We were using it because every day. And so we opened up. The place was a show place. You cannot believe it. I had to hire 10 security guards. They would stand in the front. We opened all the doors with the prayers going on. and the people from Brighton Beach walk through the hallway and go out the back way. The guys get, okay, thank you, keep moving. Just keep on, you want to look? No, come and say look. And it was a very exciting event. I can tell you 100 stories, but you know, after a while.
When the Torah Center was born, the conversation.
You have to give credit where it's due. I was president at the time. The Rabbi Harari, he was with the back young men's minyan. He said it was a good idea, he would do it, but we don't have the space. So I reviewed it myself at the time I was president, and I called up a company, big of course, and we made those folding doors, you know, the ones that you turn. So you went down the stairs. In the beginning was a hallway, and you had 3 doors. So after Shabbat, I'm done. We revert them all into rooms. That was the beginning of the Torah Center. We have, in fact, I have papers. I was looking for them, but I was late, so I came. And I have a magazine from 1962 from Israel. Okay. Front page in color. Beit HaMikdash. And showed the picture. It was, he took a chance. I mean, the architect, he went on to build lots of buildings. And, I met him once. He came here because Bert Dweck was a friend of his. That's how we found the car. And I was standing in the hallway. It showed you how brilliant he was. Standing over a bunch of people. We brought him to decorate the synagogue, to make a decoration. So he wanted to see the building anyhow. He never saw it. He was in Florida all this time. He built lots of buildings. So he took a look in the hallway. He looked at the staircase. He says, "Who moved the wall?" What? Who moved the wall? You know, the wall where you go down and it's very low? Who moved the wall? I said, because I always have floating staircases sticking out, and it just sticks out a little bit. So I said, I did. He says, you're dead? What's your reason? I says, the other architect, the other engineer, was going to put one duct for the 2 rooms. Okay? It's insufficient. So we got this company, so they're big, the ones that we use, and they said, you can't do that. You need larger ducts. And the only way we can do the larger ducts is put them in there and make them low, because the air's got to go in and out between the 2 rooms. So we ended up, we had the duct sticking out in the hallway. I didn't think it would look good, so I moved the wall. Take a look, I'll show you the wall. And I'm very impressed with him. I thought, God, I didn't see the thing in 10 years, 20 years. I never saw it before, and then hearing his own mind. Here.
Sir, we're in the middle of videotaping. You can't talk again. Please, sorry, no problem. Thank you.
So, and the rest really is history. People, when we opened the front, and we didn't do the Hechal, that's another little story, because every Sunday we go with Mr. Shalom and Eli Haddad and Abe Cohen and myself. We go to look at shuls. This one, Temple Emmanuel, Hechal. One guy wants Martin, it's very difficult to get. And Mr. Shalom had an architect to do his house. One day I got to talking to the guy, and he said, you know, I have a young fellow work for me, just hired him. I'd let him take a crack at it. That's the crack. I told him, we are, number one, we are traditional Jews. And number two, we're from the Middle East. That's why you see those little, we're from the Middle East, and it's got to be classical. It is. It's all these things. He was able, I was shocked. The guy must be 30 years old. I think maybe second job here has there. And that step, you know, the Tibet, no, the way you go upstairs, first step, you look at every Sephardic shul, they always have, right after the Amidah, everybody congregates around the Tibet, talking. It's a very ugly scene. And you can't tell them, go down, because the next week, you got to be there forever. So we went one day, me and Abe, to drive up to Bell Harbor. They have a lot of new synagogues there. We went into one synagogue, they were having a wedding, and they had that platform. I said, Dave, that's the platform. This way, we separate the people to know who's going to have the nerve to go hang out there. You want to hang out and bring them back? We took a look at it. So I said, oh, we're going to do it. He says, yeah, but you know, it can be controversial. You know, the people, who are you to do it, who am I? That's not a problem. So I took it. I got a guy who puts blocks, and then he starts with put the marble, the marble, and Mr. Shan tells me, David, I don't remember that. See, he was very sharp. I don't remember that. I said, yeah. Now listen. The synagogue they're building over there, my grandson is scaver. Mm-hmm. So he brought me the plan, showed it to me. No good. The seating, it's no good. You have to get American Seating Company. That's all we did in there. You notice, any seat you sit there, there's no head, and and everything is like this. It's like a saucer. Look at this. Watch my hand. Mm-hmm. Saucer. Mm-hmm. Okay? Like that, and it goes like this. So I did that. He went back. They changed it. They gave it to me. This is what we're doing. Dweck. Is Morris Dweck? He said, it's very good. He said, thank you. Then the other day, I went to, maybe 6 months ago, to Dweck's shul. He had the same thing, the same layout. And so now, every place, it's become the thing to do. The old Halabi one was a big, giant one and blocked. You couldn't see it, like the Deal synagogue. You can't see the people on the other side. And if you can't see people, they can't participate. And if they can't participate, they're going to talk. I'm talking success has 1,000 fathers. Failure is an orphan. That's all I can tell you. The place for our fathers, our grandfathers, I guess for their misvort, he made this happen. I always think like that. Because things, I told you these little stories, they're not supposed to happen. You know, what do you do? You want to check me, you don't do that. And of course, the fact that we didn't have, we were the general, you know, between Abe Cohen and we were We were the guys giving out the jobs and planning the moves and planning this. And Eli had it, was terrific. And his brothers, they came forward strong. You know, it is also, isn't success helps you with other people. People say, oh yeah, we've got to have that. And that's very important. Today, there isn't a Sephardi in the whole world that always points to this synagogue and say, we're Sephardim, that's the Sephardim. And it's really, the whole thing came together like the guy upstairs planned it. I ever tell you, because I used to go at night, go to sleep, got telephone calls. The good news was that my business is retail, but at late nights, we open till 12 o'clock at night. So I come into work late, so I come here, spend 3-4 hours here, until everything, I leave it to the next day, and then I show the next day with Abe. We go down together, back and forth, that everybody wants to build synagogues. I think we've tapped out. It's time for the yeshivas to step in, because that's a great weakness, finance.
Where would the community be without Shaare Tzion?
First of all, I have to tell you, there's no question that the Halabi heritage that we have is conducive to coming to shul. And our people generally are tolerant. Could be a guy who doesn't observe. All of a sudden, he starts showing up in shul. I used to walk up and down the aisle. I see a guy who used to be in the kitab with me. See them? Give him aliyah. Next week, the guy comes. And so on and so forth. 2/3 of the people that were not observant, but they always believe in the Hashem. And I saw it firsthand because, you know, like that little story with the concrete guy, it was a turning point. The guy should be upstairs now. And guess what? One day he came in, he says, you know, I need some batteries. Yay! Where's the batteries? So he became, you know, yeah, I call him up, yeah, let's go for coffee, you know. Upstairs! Upstairs! The building is still there. You know McDonald building on 42nd? Big, giant McDonald's.
Across from you?
Yeah, no, that was the building. Yeah. That was where I was. I used to have all the stores on the bottom. And this guy, so we were fortunate.
On 42nd.
On 42nd, between 7th and 8th Avenue, you're right. Yes. Yeah, so I had that, I had a Army, Navy store, record shops. Yeah, I used to have those stores. And this guy sitting up there, we're trying to get him on the telephone. See, because he was an important factor. But the things that happened were all like Hashem. I have to tell you, you think about it, guys, and then of course, you know, we have to deal with the public. The public, they don't want to know all your headaches. They just want to come and get their seat. There's no question, since the Torah Center blossomed with all these new rabbis, Rabbi Yedid primarily, and other rabbis that, you know, they go in and out. There's all kinds of rabbis. And it happens to be a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I tell you, I get a lot of people who walk over and say, you know, we have a yeshiva in Israel. So I figure maybe he wants a donation. So he talks to me, he says, you know, I come here in the morning to the minyan, and I have breakfast, and I take food with me because I'm going to go around in the city. I don't know where to eat. So I take a bag full of food, and I go, I have my lunch and everything. So very nice, he tells me. He said, Tov me on. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So I look at it, I said, you know something? He's right. I mean, you know, that was the thing I have to do. And of course, in the eyes of Sephardim all over the world, but specifically in Israel, they're all proud of the fact that we have and most important, and this is, I'm going back to when I was a kid, his saying was, they throw the kids out of the shul, they climb in fact, they climb back in through the window. The other synagogues, you see, you weren't here in that period. The other synagogues all had shuls with 400 or 500 people at one time. When we were growing up, they used to come to us. They have 400 seats. They need a minyan. They threw away their birthright. They didn't know. And we picked it up, and we proved that you could be successful, doctor, businessman, whatever you want, and still be observant.
After school programs, high school programs.
The first day we opened here, it was Rosh Hashanah. How many people do you think was in the building? I'm not talking 1960. 2,100. The dome, and yeah, that's like 600, 700. The dash upstairs was smaller, but the dash upstairs had 2 minyans, you know, one early, one later. The downstairs, young men were downstairs. We didn't have that room. That room by itself, by the way, is a miracle how we got it. It was a miracle. The architect, we started with the architect, and we had to get a variance, you know, because we're built on the whole. How can you do that? You can't do that. So the law says that for every 6 seats, you got to have 1 parking on new buildings. We went, me and Abe and Mo Towel, Rabbi Heck, and we fought it, and we convinced them. And look at the luck. There's 5 members or 6 members on the board of Standard and Appeals. One Friday, I didn't go down, you know, it's late or something. And we had a hearing. But this particular Friday, the office here calls me up and says, David, there's 5, 6 people here. They're from the city. I said, I'll be right down. I came down. What was it? That was the board. They came down to look at the situation. Listen to the break. No parking outside on Friday until 11 o'clock. So when they came, we don't need parking. That's our argument. We walk in, it's Shabbat of Yom HaAtzmaut. All the seats on Friday are set up with the American flag and the Israeli flag. In that synagogue, in this synagogue, the one downstairs, they came, they said, you mean to tell me you have all these people come? Well, I didn't know you were coming. I said, look, this is what we do every Saturday. Friday. And then he said, but you have catering. Oh, no. The purpose of the food is for members only. That's the law. And they come. Guy lives around the corner, 2 blocks down. Nobody drives to a synagogue. Guy comes in. They come. They have wine, little snacks and so on and so forth. That's all. That's a big deal here, So they were very, very impressed. Very impressed. Anyhow, if you made it, how would I know that there's people that come in here? They proved it. They proved it. And guess what? That room, even the architect, don't put it, because they'll make the FAR throw you out. I said, put it, let them kick it out, okay? Write down community room, okay? And see, this room, this place is built. You can build up to the curb, outside, you don't pay, but you can't build on the height. So the whole things, they came, that wasn't the come, they came, they looked over here, community room. I said, old people, they come here, you know what I mean? And they proved it. You can't build this place without parking. You can't build a place without parking today. The truth is, they're right. It just happens to be the right thing, It's a magnet. That's the word for it. It's a magnet. It just draws people. A guy wants to be part of it. And
we're definitely
that's the story.
To all the other
that's the story.
In the world.
And then we became the Knesset Kbida. You know what I mean? We became the design for everybody takes it, even knocking down shuls and putting them back up. And this is the thing, it's the hand. I have to say it. It's the hand of God. How many times I have other stories, but how many times we had this impossible situation, and somehow or another we kind of try to get rid of, and we got rid of it. We got rid of this issue, that issue. Today you say Shaare Sion, any place you go, Ashkenaz, Sephardic, this, Shaare Sion, the number one. Torah Center is very important, more important than anything else. It's number one, young people. The biggest, hardest thing in the whole Jewish nation is young people are going away from religion in every place, except us. Young people, and then we made it also, you like fashion? We're fashionable. You like getting together with people? You can get together with people. You like to just come and eat? You got good food. And the weddings, that was another story. The weddings right after the war, everybody's getting married. Soldiers came back. We had maybe 200, 250 people in the army. And so they came back and they match up. So we used to make on 18th Avenue, there's a synagogue right off 18th Avenue, a big synagogue. They used to go over there. You go on a Sunday, no flowers, you march down, you have a ceremony, you invite people to the ceremony, and everybody stays for 4 or 5 weddings. They go right along. Every hour, another, lebas or chocolate covered something or other, then go outside. And and they used to tell you oh, you guys, you're Syrian, some kind of, just made you proud. You were proud, just as great proud. You look at it, sometimes I know you do the same thing. You look at it, this thing was an empty lot. Anyhow, we have other things. I'll get you that picture of the thing, the plans from them. Not, if it came to the construction, I was, just forcing it because already now we can hire the best company and the best managers. So, but the coverage, we got it. Could you have anything else? Did you see a lot? In fact, that exit there, they made a synagogue out of it. These young guys. That's,
Mr. Cohen.
Tolerance. We tolerate each other. Think about it. That's the one key. We tolerate each other. We have an argument with somebody, it blows away. Tomorrow somebody wants to, we don't bear grudges. And the whole place here, and I'm so happy to see that there's so many young rabbis now. We never made rabbis like this. We had no rabbis. In Israel, they don't know our customs. They don't know our customs. To prove it, when the new arrivals started to come from Syria, so they came, Shaare on, fine, okay, they came. So one guy, he says from Israel, he says, you have to take your shoes off to make Kohanim. I says, look, okay. You know where Syria is, where Halab is? Yeah. Between Halab and Jerusalem, it's about 100 miles, 150 miles. I says, they were 150 miles from Halab. They don't take their shoes off. Take a look at them. All these people, they don't take their shoes off. Number one, we have an abundance of Kohanim. It would disrupt the service. Number one. Those older people somehow or another decided that they're tolerant. They're all right, people from Israel, yes, even myself, I take my shoes off in Israel because it's Kodesh, more Kodesh. But besides, so the key word was tolerance. So I said it, and guess what? Intermission, Brooklyn College, place was packed. Big screen. My picture's on it, and I'm saying tolerance, right? They said intermission, they left it up there. Now, we started all over again. Everybody said, hey, that is, think about it. That is, you tolerate. Tolerate, and people follow. It's so beautiful. Just now, I like it because there's so many rabbis. There's less disagreements. It's not two rabbis, each one trying to, and it's a real Torah. I mean, these guys are studying real Torah. A guy comes, he used to be a big retailer, never come to synagogue. All of a sudden you turn around, he's got 4 kids, they're rabbis. The whole spirit, you notice that you come in, the whole spirit, you want to be better. I see that in the smallest guys and the biggest guys, and we have a lot of professionals now we never had before. The psychiatrist, a doctor, first internist, psychiatrist. When he became a doctor in 1953 or something like that, maybe there was a handful of doctors. Hang in there, because you'll get infected. That's why I don't know how to do that, but let me think about it. Because it's hang in there. The guy comes, he's hanging around. By the way, we were brought up like we were in Halab. I speak Arabic fluently. It's amazing. I had occasion. I don't know if I told you this. When they were trying to bring the girls from Syria to leave America, to leave so they can get married, and they weren't doing it. So I went with Senator Schumer to Washington to meet with the ambassador from Syria to discuss this problem. At that time, I don't remember the year. I know I was president of the shul at the time, but so we went there and we talked, and then I spoke Arabic with him, this and that. So you'll appreciate that. So after I finished talking this and that, so he said to me, Emet Tereket Halab. When did you leave Halab? I said, no, sir, I was born here. Born here? How come you speak like, well, I can't tell you. What do you mean? How did you learn how to speak like that? So he says, I tell you the truth. My rabbis, he says, your rabbis taught you Arabic? I says, you know what? Yes. Why? Because they couldn't speak English.